Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Ranger Fly and welcome everyone back to Boruto. Man, it feels so great to review these again, even though I am really late. I'm always sending my vids. It's probably really freaking annoying at this point. But man, it's just good to catch up on Boruto again, just because, you know, it's still part of the training exam. Like I've always said in kind of my reviews, I already know what's going to happen. There is some minor stuff that changes here or there. But let's hop into episode 62. If you guys haven't read, I'll cover 62 and 63 just because I am 3 episodes behind. And then I'll have 64 as its own video and then so on and so forth. So let's talk about episode 62. So the tuning exam finals have just ended. I was really glad that the actual tuning exam finished. A lot of the civilians that said in this episode that the tuning exam was ruined. It wasn't really ruined. It was just deciding who should actually win. It should be Shinki because he was the last one standing. No, he was the one that took Otsutsuki, and of course Boruto cheated, but he got disqualified, so Shinki probably won. That's probably what it's going to say at the end of all this madness. But the Otsutsuki clan invasion begins, and this was a really cool part of this episode just because it reminded me back to Naruto's father, you know, the 4th Hokage, of him defeating the 9-tailed fox and protecting the hidden leaf. And now it's like Naruto's turn protecting the hidden leaf as well. You know, it kind of had a little bit of an Easter egg here or there. It was really a cool moment. We find out a little bit of information from the Otsutsuki clan. It's really nothing new. You know, Sasuke mentioned mostly everything about them. Their kind of goal through all this is capturing the tailed beast, which they could use that to revive the divine tree, have these pills, and that they will have incredible power, which Naruto really says to them that that's not really power at all. Kind of a throwback to Boruto. You kind of have to make power your own, become your own strong individual, and not take like stuff like the scientific ninja tool or medicine to help you out, because that's kind of cheating, and a Otsutsuki clan, you're not strong enough without those pills. But this as well, like this kind of arc of the tuning exam is Boruto's development, and my god, finally he figures this all out, man. Just because, like, I feel like what a lot of people have with Boruto and with this anime, just like his character in general, is just him being, you know, a brat and not just really loving his character because he's trying to kind of just, you know, focusing on, you know, getting different power for himself, kind of not really building up as he is. You know, he wanted to show his dad his true power of Sasuke being his teacher and all, but in the end he used the scientific ninja tool. But it's also blaming his dad all the time of him not coming home and him, you know, protecting the village, which is understandable. You know, it would be awesome, you know, have your father be at home and, you know, surprising you for your birthday and, you know, just hang out with him, because it's always like a father-son bond. But it's not just, you know, him and Naruto to come and surprise Himawari as well. So we definitely see a side to Boruto and why he was mad at Naruto at that point. But it's so glad that in this episode he figures out of why he becomes the Hokage and why he considers everyone in the village his family. That really sparks an eye into Boruto, which I'm really happy about. You know, I'm finally glad, and Boruto gets a sweet development throughout all of this, which I'm pretty sure it already happened already. I will be discussing it. Like I said, I am kind of far behind with all this, but it was really great. We also get moments as well. I forget the other dude's name, the other Otsutsuki guy. He's not really kind of relevant. Like, he is a new character because he wasn't in the Boruto movie. But Dora battling with him, which is a pretty cool part of this episode, but it's really just, you know, kind of them going back and forth. He just disappears because he underestimated Gaara, and then that kind of shows out right there. And the moment, I would say this part of the episode I hated, but it is understandable, is seeing Mitsuki's Sage Mode come, you know, to life. You know, he was using it because what I said before of him versus Shinki and why he didn't use it in his battle, just because if he uses his power, that means that the hidden leaf will put him into arrest and he won't be able to see Boruto or his friends here yet again, because this is a dangerous power. Just making sure it's Orochimaru. We knew him from the previous parts of Naruto that he is a bad person. He's somewhat good now, but knowing from Orochimaru he could still be bad. You know, he's the one that gave Mitsuki, you know, this power because he's the one that created him, and etc. like that. So when he was about to help Boruto, I hated that his power just vanished like that, like he was attacked by one of the Otsutsuki members, and I was just really sad. I'm like, why just show this power already, man? Can we just get an episode where he just goes all off? Like, the only part that we've seen from that is his backstory with Orochimaru, and man, I just want that just to come ahead, just like a 1v1 fight, like in the future, Mitsuki taking on someone and him using his Sage Mode power. Like, I want that so bad because he is the strongest Genin just because of that power. But I just want him to just unveil it and just have a one-on-one fight. That's my dream for Boruto. So hopefully we get that in the future. We see Naruto uses Biju power. We see, Sasuke uses Susanoo power. Kind of them protecting all the villagers. Their kind of goal, like I said, is to capture Naruto. And that was mostly the end of episode 62. It was, I guess, just development of the Otsutsuki clan and kind of why they're here. Boruto finally understanding why his father is the Hokage, and just kind of battles back and forth. It was a somewhat entertaining episode, but it was just kind of like the start of all this. It's like looking at it as a new arc, for example. Like the Chunin exams, they're done, they're out of here. It's time for the Otsutsuki clan arc. So, it's probably not going to be long. Like, it's probably, like I said, 2 to 3 episodes. It's probably already done at this point. I just need to, review it and etc. like that. But that was episode 62 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. In my opinion, I feel like this episode is just going to get a 7 out of 10. Just because, like I always say in my Boruto and, kind of these arcs coming up right here, I've already seen it. It just parts back and forth that, they put in there that's not from the movie just because they don't want to have an exact copy from the movie put into the anime. But somewhat, it was alright. I enjoyed it, but I want to see more and what they do with this arc right here. But that's enough talk for episode 62, and let's jump into episode 63. So now we hop on board to episode 63 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, and mainly this episode is kind of the exact same as the movie. Really nothing changed, but I'll kind of still talk about it just because it is kind of a sad episode. So mainly, if you guys haven't watched the Naruto series here before, I'll kind of briefly explain kind of everything here. So Naruto, him growing up, he never had a family. He had really no one to care about him. He was always by himself when he was a little kid to what he is kind of right now. Well, of course, he met some friends and some family along the way. Of course, the third Hokage, Iruka Sensei, all that kind of stuff. But it is really lonely of you being a child and not having a family, which that's kind of what Boruto felt in this episode here today. Naruto grew up without a dad, and now Boruto's experiencing that with him. Even though Naruto's always gone, he's always at the desk, but he's always, alive, and he's always there for Boruto. And now Boruto is feeling this pain now of not having a dad, because in this series Boruto looks up to Naruto. Even if he's not there, he wants to become a strong shinobi so that his father could, respect him, and that he's, actually there. That's the reason why he used the scientific ninja tool on the Chunin exam. He didn't want to cheat, but he just wanted to give his dad's approval and just show him that he is something. But now that's kind of all faded, and now he needs to grow up and know that he went down the wrong path, and that he needs a new one to actually know how to be a shinobi. We got a little Easter eggs here or there. Of course, the Gen 1 jacket, that's a real throwback to me, even seeing that part. We see, of course, the old picture of Team 7. I always feel like that always changes. That's not the original picture. They kind of updated it, but it was still good to see, Gen 1 Naruto there again, of course, with Kakashi, Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto. And of course, we see more of Sasuke in this, kind of development. Really changed, definitely his character from previous Naruto to what he is right now. And a really cool thing that I loved about this episode, and I feel like it was the best part of it, is Sasuke giving his old headband to Boruto. And that headband, if you are a Naruto fan, that was really important. That headband is literally the #1 thing in Naruto history, because just going with Naruto, kind of, I would say the halfway point to Shippuden, Naruto was always going after Sasuke so that he could return to the village and be his best friend again. That headband really symbolized, kind of friendship. And even Sasuke in this episode of Boruto even said that he had lost to Naruto, but Boruto, you are stronger, and that you could even surpass him one day. So it's like when he was wearing that headband, it's mostly because every time, if you know Naruto history, if you're part of a village, and you have the headband and has that line across it, that means that you are a rogue ninja. But that's just mostly showing that Boruto is becoming a real shinobi. That's kind of the message right there. But at the same time, if you are a Naruto fan, that really means you're a rogue. but that's kind of a moment of him just being a shinobi, an actual real one, because you know Sasuke says throughout all this, and he kind of has that bet with Naruto, that a shinobi soul will remain the same. So no matter what, if it's a new generation, if it's far past years, no matter what, a shinobi will still stay the same. And kind of the plan goes out to save Naruto from the Otsutsuki clan, so they kind of all plan it out. That wasn't part of the movie, but it was literally only like a minute right here. It wasn't really just demonstrating like little stuff of what powers have which. So of course one steals people's chakra and uses it to have swords. One person has the Rinnegan in his hand that could absorb that power and use it against you, while the other one can steal yours with, you know, this fishing hook ability that he has. So it's kind of them just kind of planning of what to do, bringing Boruto along, so if they're trapped in a corner or if they do die, Boruto's there to help his dad no matter what, and then go off to save his dad. But another cool part of this episode here as well is it's just like kind of an art generation as well, but it's looking at Boruto that he looks exactly like Gen 1 Naruto. Even Hinata even says to, you know, her own son that she looks like Naruto. And you know, it's definitely a really cool moment, just because Boruto literally looks like he's a shadow clone to Naruto. I just find that a really cool aspect and more into Boruto's character, just because I want to see Boruto's character after this arc a lot more, that he's actually a character I feel like people will really adore right now. You know, he was a brat, you know, he wasn't really a likable character throughout the start of Boruto or whatever. Like, even though he had that eye ability, which hopefully can come back in the future after this arc, hopefully, you know, I feel like right now a lot of people will adore him, and even this power coming up, I feel like you guys will really enjoy his character. But that's really what the episodes 62 and 63 are. Really what this episode, guys, you know, I am giving it low. It's only going to be a 6.5 out of 10, but it's just because I've already watched this before. It's kind of just a refresh in my mind to go to what the attack that's going to be happening in the next episode, which I know a lot of you guys seen, but of course, you know, like I'm sad here yet again. I'm late on it, and I'm just kind of refreshing you guys with it. But it was still, I guess, a good episode all in all. Let me down in the comments below what you guys think. Like the video if you guys haven't, and subscribe to the channel. That'd be greatly appreciated. But either way, we'll see you guys in episode 64 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. Much love, and thank you guys all for the love and positivity.